Hi there, my name is Aya. You're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to introduce my Iron Flame vlog. So as I'm filming this, it is November 5th, and in 2 days, Iron Flame is gonna come out. So I'm very, very excited about it. Basically, this is gonna be a very, very spoiler-filled vlog. So I really hope you enjoyed that. If you have not read this book yet and you wanna know my thoughts on Fourth Wing, I'll have it linked for you here. I also did a spoiler-filled vlog on Fourth Wing. Yeah, I just feel like I could tell you my thoughts, my non-spoiler thoughts on Iron Flame, but I feel like everybody that is interested in thoughts on it is going to be interested in a spoiler vlog since it's the second book in the series. The problem with this vlog though is I have to work both days. Usually if like a very highly anticipated release comes out, I usually take at least one day off. I didn't do that for Iron Flame. I think I was too late to actually take the day off. I know that I can read on my commute. It is over 600 pages. Enough of my rambling. Let's cut to all the spoilery goodness. So I read the first part of Iron Flame, and I'm here to give you my thoughts. To be honest, I'm kind of struggling with my thoughts because it's taking me a while to read this book. Right now it's Friday, it came out on Tuesday, and I didn't take any days off for this book, which usually I try to take at least one day off so I can like read the whole day, and I didn't. It has been pretty busy at work, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to read, but I do have to say, usually when I'm really, really loving a book, that really doesn't stop me. I just continue reading. And for this book, I haven't been, which I think has several reasons, which I'll get to once I tell you my thoughts. To be honest, I can tell you now. I do feel like in the first half, at least, only in the latter part, things really happened. Whereas in the beginning, not a lot of things really happen. It's just like Violet going to Xaden, Xaden coming to her keeping secrets, but being frustrated that he's also keeping secrets, like her keeping secrets from her friends, the same way he's keeping secrets from her. Them trying to figure out how they can be together, and also her slowly learning to trust her friends. And I did really like her getting closer to Jacinia and her also helping her. We did find out that Andarna is a black dragon, which she assumed that means that she's Taran's, and she's not. So that's interesting. She's also growing very fast, and I read the first half plus the first chapter of part 2, and she just woke up, but she has been sleeping a lot, which is not really usual for these hatchlings, but I'm pretty sure it's because she used up so much of her power. Also, the government, I'm pretty sure Dane's dad has been slowly killing off everybody that was at the battle in the last book, which basically they killed off all the characters that we didn't really have a bond to. So Sierra and Aya, Mason, they weren't really very involved characters. 2 new characters were introduced though, Liam's sister and Auric. So Sloane, Liam's sister, and Auric, the king's son, who he doesn't agree with his dad, and he ultimately joins the rebellion. So that's interesting. Hopefully none of them die. Okay, so going back a little bit, Violet absolutely does not trust Dane. So he's become wing leader, Rhiannon has become squad leader, and he's trying to talk to her and she really doesn't want to. And then actually at the end of part 1, he is used by Varish, who is like the bad guy, to once again use his powers to figure out what they're doing. And then he realizes everything that they've been hiding from him, or from everybody. So he now has also joined the rebellion. So that's interesting. I'm very interested to see. In the first book, I was really frustrated by him, but even before he switched loyalties, I did feel a little bit sorry for him. It just felt like in the first book, he was really pinpointed as being the bad guy, being like the stickler of the rules. And in this book, yes, he was trying to get in contact with Violet, but it never really felt to me that he was trying to be malicious in a way. So it didn't really surprise me that, at that scene where he's holding the knife and saying things like, "You should have trusted me," I did realize that he said that because he wanted her to tell him sooner so that he'd be on her side. My voice is leaving me. I did love reading some of the correspondence between Xaden and Violet, especially Xaden's letters. Although I do have to say, she ends every letter with recovered correspondence of Lieutenant Xaden Ryerson to Cadet Violet Sorengale, which kind of scares me that something's gonna happen to them or Xaden. But now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they find his correspondence in her stuff now that she's left. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm hoping. We meet Xaden's ex, which caused a little bit of drama. I did love all the Violet and Xaden scenes so far. Like, they're cute together. I really love Xaden. And Violet was kind of frustrating a lot to me in the beginning. Like I said in the beginning of this clip, she's so mad at Xaden. Yes, she's doing the exact same thing to Rhiannon and all her other friends, which they do talk about it. And she's like, we're not sleeping together, stuff like that. But still, I mean, you know why you're doing it. So you should be more supportive of when Xaden's doing it. Not that I'm saying that lying is, justified. But in this case, especially once, like, everything he was afraid of, she did end up doing. Like, he was afraid she's going to tell her friends. She did. And now, eventually, like, the whole school knows. And the rebellion has started, actually. Whereas maybe they're not ready for that. You know what I mean? So it's not like his reasons for not being truthful were unjustified. I gotta tell you, I do really love the scenes between Taran and Violet, like I've always have. But this time, like, really seeing, him defend her, really protect her, really go to bat for her, and really willing to kill another dragon for her. I did really love those scenes. Which we also find out that Xaden's dad was in the infantry, which I didn't really know. Maybe they said in the first book, I don't remember. Also, we did see a lot more of the other squadrons, like the other different groups. So obviously, we saw the cadets when they did the whole terrain thing where they couldn't really where they had to drink stuff to not be close to their dragon, or so they couldn't communicate to their dragon. And we see more of the healers. I did like that. I did like seeing that. Okay, so in the second year, they train them to survive and endure torture. So there are a couple scenes of that in here. But like I said, I do have to say, starting from around when she told her friends is when I really felt like, okay, finally the action is happening. So this book is 625 pages. I cannot make any clear judgments because I haven't finished the book yet. But I do feel like this maybe could have been shortened a little bit. Like the part when they're still at school, I think it didn't need to be that long. But like I said, obviously I haven't finished the book yet. I'm still halfway through. Yeah, and a big reveal was that Jack is back. So he didn't actually die. He was severely injured and they spent months mending him. And it sounds like there's something odd with him, obviously. On the one hand, he saves Violet's life and he seems to be sort of decent to her, greeting her, stuff like that. But then on the other hand, we hear from Varish and his ilk that he's on their side and he would want revenge, stuff like that. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. I think he's still at Basquiat, so we'll see. Yeah, I do have to say, like, the torture scenes with Violet, like the last ones before, when they finally leave the school, those were very, very hard to watch. And her seeing Liam just broke my heart. I still, like, she feels that he's real, so I'm very interested to see that connection. Like, is he real? Or is she the only one that can see him? Or was this really just hallucinations from all the pain? And yeah, Dane, like I said, it didn't really surprise me that once he saw, like, I don't know, I just felt like, I didn't feel it in the first book, but definitely in this book, I just felt like he still was a good guy on the inside. And also that scene with her mom, I'm still confused. Like, she knows things, but then she also seems to be in favor of this rebellion. Like, I'm just confused. Very confused. And some of the professors are really on their side. They were actually the ones that were kind of spreading the propaganda a little bit. I am enjoying this book, but I don't know if I enjoy it as much as the first book, honestly. That really would have to depend on part 2, and maybe that will sway me the whole way through. I think right now it's a 4. Like, I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the scenes between Xaden and Violet. But I do feel like, so I've read the first 347 pages, and only like the last 50, 60 were very exciting in my opinion. Like, even though exciting stuff was happening, it didn't really feel that exciting to me. It only started when she kind of told her friends that I felt like that was exciting. They stole those journals, and then even though I didn't really enjoy reading the torture scenes, that also was kept me from like reading. And then them actually pleading their case and taking half of the students with them, that is like, right now I'm really intrigued and I want to know what's going to happen. Whereas in the first part, like the first half of the first part, I wasn't really that intrigued. Like, I was enjoying it. I was enjoying reading about the characters because I do enjoy these characters, but I was not really intrigued enough. Whereas I do feel like the intrigue has come right now. So yeah, and that is, I think, why it also took me so long to update you, because I honestly felt like I don't know what to say. Like, what can I say? Like, what do I feel is interesting to report right now, except for, oh, I really loved seeing them together. That is not really that worthy of a discussion. Like, I think we all know that if you are reading Iron Flame, that means you especially enjoyed the relationship between Violet and Xaden. So yes, I'm very interested. And Darna just woke up, so very excited to read about that. And hopefully I won't just give you 2 updates. Hopefully in the second part there will be more exciting scenes that I can actually comment on. Okay, so like I predicted, the intrigue has started. I'm on chapter 43 now, and I am thoroughly enjoying myself. The only thing that is kind of annoying me is the ex-girlfriend drama. It's not really necessary. Xaden did explain the reasons why Violet was so irrationally angry with her. It was Kat's own fault. But I just want Kat to stop, because this is annoying me. It's not necessary. I don't like ex-girlfriend drama. And especially not in this fantasy romance where lives are at stake and they are in actual war. Like, stop that. Like, it is unnecessary drama. Yeah, so we find out that Andarna has something with one of her wings. She's not able to spread one of her wings out as much as the other one, which means that she might be able to fly, but she'll never bear a rider, which I kind of like. That is obviously going to come, that's going to play a big part in this book. But I do like that she is kind of like Violet in a way then, because obviously Violet has also muscle, like things with her muscles that makes her in pain all the time. I don't think Andarna is in actual pain. I don't think that's the case, but, she's not like the other dragons. But I did like that Rebecca put that in this book. Violet has been translating this journal to figure out how to make new wards, and they tried it now with the 6 like most powerful writers, and it didn't seem to work. I do think that there's something there. So Xaden thinks that, or I think one of them thinks that she didn't translate it properly. I think she did. Maybe I think she chose the wrong writers, maybe, because I did think, it seemed like that is actually the way to do it. Yeah, so Mira came. Xaden kind of did the same thing that he did at Basquiat. So their dragons showed them what was really going on. So she came, and I fucking loved her reaction, because she came, she saw Brennan, and she punched him in the face. Which, honestly, I think Violet should have done so as well. Like, I get it. He has his reasons. Fine, but I think Mira explained perfectly well why she's so angry, as she should be. I mean, mourning someone for 6 years and then finding out they're alive, obviously you are going to be very relieved, but finding out that he's been alive and not captive or something, you're going to be angry because you've spent those years mourning him. I did like those scenes. Okay, so the most powerful writers she chose were Xaden, Felix, Suri, Bodhi, herself, and Brennan. So I think some of them, Violet, Xaden definitely, but maybe the other 4, maybe there are more powerful writers than them. We shall see. Maybe she's going to choose Auric or something. Yeah, so the whole scenes of her being at the Viscount, trying to get this luminary, which I still don't understand, this whole luminary plot line. Maybe I missed something, but I think I missed it. But yeah, like I said, the whole ex-girlfriend drama was kind of annoying. But actually seeing the whole flyers, seeing more griffins, the Viscount negotiating them, actually teaching the flyers, like the griffin flyers, that's going to be a very interesting storyline. Plus her calling Xaden out on his bullshit, telling him he's like Dane for being so overprotective. He did need to hear that. I still love Xaden. I think I always will. Did I love him more in the first book? Yes, I think so, especially because of what Violet says. Like, he was always, even though he was tasked to protect her, he still believed in her ability. And right now, it just, like, he's way too overprotective, which obviously I get. She almost died a couple times. So I get that. But at the end of the day, it just makes him less sexy, in my opinion. So yeah, like I said, chapter 43. Oh, yeah, so it turns out they've had Venin. She killed one in front of everybody. And she has issues with her powers. She's not been properly trained. She knows how to have a lot of these lightning bolts, but she doesn't know how to control them. She doesn't know how to control her power in a smaller way. So that's going to be a storyline, I think, going through the rest of this book. And like I said, as I predicted, I am loving the second part way more than the first part. Things are finally happening, it seems. So I have about 200 pages left. I'm pretty sure I can finish it today, so that's good. I do have to do a couple other things today, but if I'm not gonna be doing errands, then I'm definitely gonna be reading. Okay, so I'm about 100 pages from the end, and I gotta tell you, I'm really into this book now. I honestly cannot stop reading. So that is exciting news. So I'm here to, this is going to be my last update before I actually finish it. I'm here to talk to you about the last 13 or so pages I've read, or chapters I've read. Okay, so we actually saw them taking all the flyers to Tirandor. They had to hike this very dangerous cliff. And yeah, people died, but most of them are not people that we are really familiar with or care anything about. Kat has been on her bullshit, although I do have to say, I'm on chapter 56 now, and things have thawed a little bit, which I'll get to. Same with Sloane, by the way. That happened while they were walking this cliff. It seems that ever since Sloane has joined the rebellion, she has been easing up on hating Violet. It also has to do with her reading Liam's letters, so that's good. I mean, I knew that unless she dies, which I don't think Rebecca's gonna actually kill her since she already killed her brother, I knew that they were gonna figure it out eventually, so that's good. We actually find out a bit of interesting things about griffins. So griffins actually die when their flyers die, whereas obviously with dragons it's the other way around. If a dragon die, his rider dies. So that is an interesting juxtaposition. We saw some more scenes between Dane and Violet, and I do gotta tell you, I'm becoming a fan of Dane, honestly. I just want him to be happy. I want him to find a girlfriend, to fucking find love. I love him so much. Really hope he will not betray us in any way, but I feel like the scenes with them translating things, but also him while they are on this pass, while they're hiking and she dislocates her shoulders, the fact that he sets it right for her and the things he says to her. You know, I do think he cares about her. She's still not fully trusting him, which I get, honestly, but hopefully they can work it out in the end. And I'm really interested in your guys' thoughts on Dane. Do you guys like him as much as I do now? Or can you also not forgive him for what he did? We find out more about runes. So runes can kind of equalize the power between flyers and riders. So riders are the more powerful ones, but the runes, they can make flyers more powerful, and that's interesting. Obviously, Xaden has been teaching Violet a little bit about runes, and we find out that he has been using runes to protect her from, among other things, Kat. So that is good. And we find out why Kat hates Violet so much. It's not because she loved Xaden, it's because she wanted power, and she could get that with him because technically he's the king of his province. Xaden and Violet do have a conversation, and he tells her that he began loving her because she loved him despite his name, not because of it. So that's good. I don't think, hopefully, after the scene I just read, hopefully Kat will not be this nuisance anymore. And there was this throne scene, which I love throne scenes. That is one of my favorite scenes in Twisted Games. And this one had it, and it was so hot. I love those scenes. It was so, so good. Yeah, so I was kind of sort of right about the translation. She translated it wrong. It's not the most powerful riders, it's the most powerful dragons. And apparently when she raises the wards, the flyers lose their power. And honestly, maybe something went over my head, but I didn't understand why that was. If you guys can give me an explanation of why that is, definitely let me know. So she's kind of at the point where I'm now, she still hasn't raised them, but she's kind of forced to now, even though she wanted to take the time and have the flyers consent to that. This is the last scene. They come across Solus, who's kind of been hunting them, and Violet saves Kat. A random person dies. Like every time Rebecca introduces a character that doesn't have any real emotional tie to somebody, they inevitably end up dying. So she saves Kat, and Andarna also helps, but I think I don't know if she's injured, but it seemed like it. And Violet got injured, and we find out that Sloane is a siphon. And, Kat is really indebted to Violet because she literally saved her life. And then Xaden and Violet have this big heart-to-heart about secrets and the fact that she trusts him. To be honest, they keep having the same fight, and they need to just figure their shit out. Like, he keeps constantly telling her that she needs to ask him things if she wants to know about things, and then she constantly tells him that he should tell her without her having to ask him. So hopefully they can work it out, or maybe they'll break up. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Right now where I'm at, this group of wyverns are headed their way. So now she's actually kind of almost forced to raise the wards. So I guess we'll see. Like I said, I'm at the home stretch now. I only need to read about 100 pages. From the teeny tiny bit of spoilers that I have seen, I haven't actually read actual spoilers, but apparently this book the ending will just slap me in the face. I guess we'll see. So I'm dreading, but also very excited to finish it. And yeah, I'll just end this video and give you my final thoughts on the last part and the book in general. Okay, I need to react. Jack turned venom? What the fuck? How? So he just killed his own dragon, and now Xaden says that he turned venom, but how the fuck did he do that? I don't remember how people turn venom, but I'm shocked. Shocked at Talia. Okay, so apparently it happened before he died, when he challenged her in the first book. Apparently his eyes have been red for a while now. I didn't expect this at all. So scary. And apparently there's more out there. Crazy. No! Fucking Xaden! No. Oh my god. I just read the almost last chapter, and Xaden turned fucking venom. Is this fucking Vampire Academy all over again? Fuck me! Why? Has she been dreaming Xaden's dreams? I think so. Oh my god, that last fucking line. Ah! Oh my god. What are we gonna do now? Oh my god, what a book. I have to get ready. And I'm gonna gather all my thoughts, and then I'm gonna come back at you and give you my full thoughts. But this book blew my mind. I think it's gonna be 5 stars, but let me think on it a little bit and then I'll come back to you. Okay, let's see if I can film like this, because this is precariously balanced on a stack of books. But yeah, as you could see from my reaction, I am shocked that Xaden is turning into a venom, which, if I really think about it, maybe I could have seen it coming. Yeah, and I did mention Vampire Academy, which I'm sorry if you, but that book That series has been out for a very long time, but yeah, something similar happened in that series. And Rebecca does seem to like to pull from other series, so I guess I could have seen it coming, but alas, I did not. So let's actually go back and yeah, tell you about everything that we haven't touched on so far. So you did see a couple of my reactions. Yeah, so Andarna, obviously she killed a dragon, and apparently that does, Taran says that it leaves a mark upon but to slay another dragon is a heavy mark upon the soul, even in defense of yourself or your rider. And he does feel guilty because he should have killed Solus a long time ago, and now he feels like she did his job for him. Yeah, so actually before Xaden turned into a Venin, we found out another big secret about him, which honestly I didn't guess this. If some of you did, definitely let me know in the comments. But apparently he's a mind reader. So anytime a dragon bonds a rider where they have previously bonded another one of his family or her family, they get 2 signets, or one of the, only one, but it's a very powerful signet. So Xaden has 2, and one of them, the secret one, is that he's a mind reader, an Incynic or something. Intrinsic, which obviously that is the power that gets you killed. So he's only, like, nobody knows except Violet now. So that is a very big secret. And obviously now he's a Venin, so I'm very interested to see how that is going to play out. But I don't have it. Like, I think that is not going to be a secret for long. But yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, I do like the way Violet handled it. Obviously, her first thoughts were, were you reading my mind the whole time? Is what I'm feeling for you real, or is it something you manufactured? She did get answers for that, and she did react accordingly, saying that because he told her that apparently, like, he's afraid that if he tells her the secret, she'll fall out of love with him in a minute, whereas she said that her love endures. So, and they kind of worked it out. She thought, like I said, the wards thing, apparently, once again, she translated it wrong. It's 7 dragons, not 6. And since everybody thinks there's only 6 dragon-like breeds, there's something wrong. But, of course, Andarna is the 7th line. So Violet has bonded with 2 very fucking powerful dragons. So she's the 7th line. We obviously don't know anything really about that line, but she's the only one. And apparently she's been waiting 650 years, I think, for her to be born. So Violet's mom did find out that Brennan is still alive before she died, which I'm gonna get to that later. But he's honestly kind of being a dick to her. Like, he was kind of a dick to her. He didn't want anything to do with her, which I'm sure that's gonna be a storyline in the next book. The general and Violet's mom, they plead for help because he saw that, General Malgren saw that they were gonna lose the battle at like this other Samara, I think. And pretty much everybody in the council said no, they were not gonna help because they never got help. Like, their region plus Pomerel never got help. And then obviously, of course, Violet is the one that's like, we should be better than them. So they actually go to Basquiat because, I don't remember how, but she realizes that he didn't see everything because the marked ones were involved, but the battle is actually in Basquiat. So they go, and that battle was fucking epic in my opinion. I do really like the way Rebecca Yarros writes battle scenes. Yeah, I already talked about Jack and the fact that he killed his own dragon and that he's been Venin all this time. And then after that, actually a lot of Brennan came and a lot of the flyers also came. So like I said, a big giant battle. Sawyer actually lost his leg, which honestly I thought, oh no, is this gonna be Liam all over again? I do have to say in this book, which is kind of, I'm gonna get to that, but on my thoughts, but this book, she definitely seemed to be killing off the people that we weren't that close to. So part of me thought he might survive, but obviously he doesn't have a leg now. I'm very interested to see how, like, what is going to happen in the 3rd book. Like, how are they going to maneuver him being able to ride with just one leg? Violet's mom actually sacrifices herself. So they need power to imbue the stone for the wards to go up. And Violet almost burns herself out doing that. And her mom stops it and manipulates Sloane in a way to use her, saying, I'm the one that killed your mom. I hunted her down, stuff like that. And, she really sacrificed herself for her kids. So there was a very good redemption arc, in my opinion, for the mom. And there was this letter we get to read from the mom to the dad, saying, "Most generals dream of dying in service to their kingdom, but you know me better than that, my love. When I fall, it will be for one reason only, to protect our children." You know, it is kind of bittersweet. Apparently she did really love all of her children, yet they never really knew. So that is kind of sad. I mean, I wish she would have just told them that in life, as opposed to them finding out when, like, after she sacrifices herself. That's kind of all my thoughts on this, but like my actual thoughts on particular scenes. So like I said, Xaden Venin, I'm very interested to see what is going to happen with that, how long it's going to take for him to unturn, because obviously that's going to happen. Or we find out that you can be Venin and also still not be a bad guy. I don't know, I guess we'll see. And, you know, Violet has been having all these dreams, but it seems like they're actually Xaden's dreams. So I think this book, like this series, was it supposed to have 5 books? So yeah, most of the next book's going to be focused on Violet trying to save Xaden, I'm pretty sure. So the wards are up now in Basquiat, but not at Tyrandor. So, and it seems like they can only use a dragon's breath once for one ward. So that's interesting to see how they're going to solve that problem. I already alluded to it. Ultimately, I did enjoy this book. I still agree with my thoughts at the very beginning. I did feel like part 1 was very slow and it needed to be edited down. So right now, like, this book has 625 pages. I think at least 150 pages could be cut from the very beginning, because I did think they were kind of boring. And then exactly as I predicted, part 2 was action upon action upon action. And I was very intrigued. And especially like the last 150 pages, I could not stop myself from reading, which is exactly how I want to feel with this book. Even though all my criticisms from the first part definitely does not negate that I'll give this book 5 stars, because I did feel like the second half was so strong that I kind of forgot about like the first half, because I can forgive a book for being slow in the beginning if that slowness is because of world building, whereas I didn't feel like the first part had any world building whatsoever. So it was just kind of boring. I did feel like in this book, even though obviously she made a big decision to make Xaden Venin, and that is going to be an interesting plot line going forward, I did feel like in the first book, she obviously killed a very beloved character. Whereas in this book, every character, like, there were a lot of people that died, but most of them were characters that we did not really know, so we couldn't really care about them. So we knew them by name, Violet cared about them, but we as a reader, or at least I as a reader, did not really care. So yeah, the mom died, which is sad, especially because it did seem like she wanted to build some sort of relationship with each of her children. And the fact that we got to see more from her in this book and see more of her thoughts and feelings on especially Violet. So that does feel like a lost, like a relationship that can never be rebuilt, even though maybe if she'd lived, it could have been rebuilt. But other than that death, I wasn't really scared if characters were in danger, because I felt like the only characters that she was gonna kill was gonna be characters that we did not really know and love. So even with Sawyer, like the fact that his leg was bitten off, I knew that he was probably gonna survive. Yeah, I did, like I said, I loved Xaden and Violet's relationship in this book, even though I did feel like there were a couple of fighting scenes that were just like repeats over and over and over again. She could have cut at least 1 or 2 out, in my opinion. But the moments we did have, I did really love. I did love seeing, ultimately I did like Kat, and I really loved Dane, and I'm really glad that he was like good the whole way through. And I did love seeing like the flyers and the writers connecting. I do think that Rebecca needs to spend a little bit more time world building, especially in this book, whereas in the first book, the way she did that was for Violet to actually recite world building, literally. Whereas in this book, she never really did that. Like, she did it once or twice and for a very short time. So I was having trouble really picturing some things and really trying to figure out, especially since this cast has gotten so much bigger, to really differentiate between characters. The characters that were introduced, I did really like. I loved Arik, I loved Sloane, and like I said, Kat is starting to, even though I hated her, especially because of the whole ex-girlfriend drama at the end, by the end she did redeem herself, so I am interested to see how that is going to develop. And like I said, Dane, I hated him in the first book, and in this book I really liked him again. I think those are all my thoughts for now. Like I said, I did enjoy it. I do think it's just as good as Fourth Wing, even though in the beginning I was doubting it, and you could see that in my vlog. I really did think that I wasn't gonna love it as much as Fourth Wing, but ultimately I did. And yeah, 5 stars. I did really enjoy myself. And definitely let me know in the comments below what you thought of this book. I would love to know all your thoughts. Definitely if you agree with me or if you disagree, I would love to know every thought you have. I don't know when the third book's coming out. So she published 2 in 2023, and she actually published another book in 2023. So 3 books in 2023. So she is a pretty fast author. So I think my hope is that the third book will come out in the first half of 2024. But yeah, leave all your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did, and thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.